come and view this live replay, just fast forward to save you some time from having to wait. So that's an advantage of watching the replay. You get to just fast forward to the meat of the content. Let's see who's up. I know it's midnight somewhere. It's just not midnight where I am. It's Central Time. And so if you come on, say something to me. Say something to me. I see somebody's on. Looks like somebody's up. If you're up, say something to me. Hello, Cordella. How are you? I'm going to see how many other people are up. I've had a long, extremely busy day. How was your day, Cordella? Hi, Shanta. How are you? How was your day? Hi, Jasmine. How are you? How was your day? Hi, Robin. How are you? How was y'all day? I'm not going to wait for a lot of people to come on, but I do feel like I need to say something that I feel like is important. And I'm going to leave this up likely because it's on my YouTube channel. Good, Cordella. How was everybody else's day? Good, 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 good. I was actually trying to close out my day. I kind of had a busy day. And good, good, Robin. I kind of had a busy day with a lot that I had going on, and I was really busy on social media today. Okay, Shanta, you were like me, had a busy day. And so I'm not going to be long, but here's why I'm coming on this late. It's not late for me because I do a lot of things during this particular time, but it's late for me to kind of be coming on social media and saying some things. So like, for those of you who follow me, and I know that there will be other people who will come and watch the replay, so I'm not just talking to the people who are actually live, but even the people who will come and watch the replay. You guys, most of you can attest to that I came for quite some time in reference to children, specifically young adult children. And so for those of you who may watch my video, during this particular time, I wasn't on YouTube. I didn't have a YouTube channel where I was actively coming. So I just want to share with you guys, I was on YouTube and I was on Instagram. And so I have like 19, 20 people on. If you guys could say hello to me so I can see who you are. And so many of you know that I came and I did a whole lot as it relates to children. And so when I say I did a whole lot as it relates to children, I mean, there was a lot of sacrificing, right? I did a lot of sacrificing. I didn't ask anything for it. Because I just kind of felt like, God would repay me for what it is that I was doing. Now, when I say this, I want to be careful how I say this, but at the same time, I need to be honest and truthful. And sometimes the truth hurts. So a lot of times when people get offended at something that is being said, it's simply that they are upset because it's the truth. So what happened is I came for years and I would ask the name of people, children, and I would come on and I would say things like, if you have a child with a court case or if you have a child that's incarcerated, things of that nature, I would say, send me their names and I'm going to be praying for them. I did that. I did that for years. And then I would do things like right before school started, I think in either 23 or 24, I don't remember. I asked all of the parents, I said, let's get together and we're going to fast for 3 days. I took the time to send out scriptures. I took the time to say what we're going to be praying. I had them to send me the names and what it is that they needed for their children. And when I wrote it down, because I wrote it out, as they sent it in, I wrote it out. And as I was praying for the specific children and what they had going on, God would give me more, okay, to pray for, and in some cases, prophecy for the children, right? So here's why I am here now. And I want to put this out here, and I know some people may get offended, but I have to say it because it's the truth. I'm no longer doing that. I'm no longer in a position and in a place in my life where I can just dedicate hours and dedicate days to do that. You know why? Because here's the deal for people who act as if they don't understand and say, well, she's a prophet, she's a woman of God, and I can't believe she's not still praying for children. I still pray for children, but I'm not in that vein and on that assignment in that way. Okay? And so I had so many people who just simply ignored it and didn't feel that they should participate. Some people was just because, they just felt like, okay, maybe she's just blowing smoke. And then some people just was like, okay, their children isn't giving them any problems. So they didn't think it was a need. So I said all of that, guys, to say this. I'm almost in a tremble, like I'm almost like at a shake, like. And when I say at a tremble, at a shake, like, and I've been like this, and it's like it's something, okay, with our children, okay, that is transpiring, meaning it's happening, right? And if we don't do something, it's going to be catastrophic. Okay? I came on election night for Louisiana. For those of you who would view this and you're not from Louisiana, we had 4 amendments that we needed to shoot down. Okay? And we warned, I think it was over 60%. So I said all of that to say this. Some people are not paying attention for whatever the reason. Perhaps they cannot see in the spirit, or perhaps they don't want to see in the spirit. Whatever the case may be, there are signs that are here and we're not paying attention. There is an agenda that is being launched for our children. Okay? The devil. Okay? The devil. So demons are at work. And so here's what I want to say. I have some people who will view this video and you're going to be praying for your child. Why? Because that's just what we do, right? But then I have some people, y'all, listen and hear me well. I have some people who are intercessors, who live holy, who can get a prayer through. I do not want you to just pray for you and yours. There are some children out here. Some of them are not in trouble. Some of them are in trouble. They don't have anyone to pray. So what am I asking? What am I here pleading for our children? Here's what I'm pleading for. If you know of a child that you know he or she does not have anyone praying for them, maybe their parent is deceased, maybe their parent is locked up, maybe their parent is on drugs, maybe their parent has a mental issue, maybe their parent living their best sinning life, whatever the case may be, that part, don't let that concern you. You just be concerned with the fact that the child does not have anybody praying. So what am I asking? I'm asking you to be intentional. I'm asking you to, on purpose, seek out children that need people praying for them. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to say a thing to the parent. You don't even have to say anything to the child. You know how many children that I know that I make contact with, or that somebody else may say, you know, such and such got in some trouble the other day and he did this and he did that. Well, guess what? I may say, well, what is his name? You know, and so when they say the name, oh, he's such and such, but I don't know his last name. Well, guess what? That's a name of a child that I need to pray for. I promise you, I know that it's late at night, but I had to squeeze it in. And I could not let the night close without coming to speak on this. Okay? Our children are in desperate need for prayer. Now, here's the deal. The last time I came, which was some years ago, I came ahead of demonic activity and agendas that was going to be launched as far as the children were concerned. But I wasn't readily received. Only a few parents received me. Most parents didn't receive me. Okay, they just kind of like, okay, here she go, here it goes again. And what was so sad about the situation was, hold up a second, y'all. I'm so sorry. I thought I shared this to Facebook, but I don't think I. Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I had shared it to Facebook. So I came years ahead of things, right? And so I had most people who just kind of like, you know, just when I would post something, they didn't have anything to say. And I'm never a person that asks people to share. So periodically, I would ask people who would see the video. I said, well, you know, share it, please, so other parents can see what's going on. But they wouldn't share. And so what happened is when I stopped doing it and I was no longer on that assignment and God had placed me in other areas, and I was working on things that pertain to my life, my personal life, and didn't have the time to dedicate to that, I would have people to reach out. And so I don't even want anybody to be confused who would view this video and send me names and send things, because here's the deal. I'm no longer on that assignment, but I'm always on the assignment as the prophet to come and warn and give messages. I'm not a person that's going to tell you that I'm praying when I'm really not praying. A lot of people are just dishonest and they say that they're praying. You know, you may ask them for prayer, or they may just volunteer and say that they're praying when that's not the case. All right. So one of the things that I want to say that many of you need to know, and I want to say it the right way, as it relates to the judicial system, we're going to see an increasing number of things handled inappropriately. I'm going to put it like that. But how many of us know if we pray, you can dismantle agendas. If we pray, it sends confoundment and confusion to the enemy's camp. Okay? How many of us know when something is about to be planned and an act is about to be carried out, it can go left? Okay, it doesn't have to go the way that it's intended, but there is going to be an issue, okay, where that's going to take place. And how many of us know that over 80 to 90% of people who get in trouble, young or old, do not have representation? Without representation, how far are you really going to get? What's really going to happen? Even if you're innocent. I don't know a whole lot about the judicial system, but I watched the little movies on the criminal shows, and hearing people kind of talk here and there who would tell me or ask me to pray for their child or someone that they knew, where they call it take a plea. And if I'm saying it wrong, forgive me for those of you who know. But take a plea and say that they're guilty when they're in fact not guilty. But this is what the prosecutor is telling them they need to do. And they're going to have to do it Why? Because they don't have representation. It's not like they paying this attorney and they can say to him, no, I really didn't do it. You're getting paid and I need you to prove my innocence. See, you have a little bargaining. But there is no bargaining whenever we have the prosecutor who's representing you. And so I'm saying, if we just pray, then many of our young children won't even end up in this position. Can we stop talking about that they smell like loud? Can we stop talking about that they want to be grown? They sag in their pants. We know that already. Can we stop talking about they so hard-headed? They just so disobedient. They don't want to listen. We know all of that already, right? We know that, but here's the deal. Prayer changes things. So that same energy and same time that you're speaking that, how about if you're in line at the store with them, or if you're working on the job with them and they come back from break and they're smelling like loud or they're behaving a certain way, why can't you say a prayer for them in your head? Pray for them. Because let me tell you, I know that I'm not wrong, just like I wasn't wrong years ago when I came and I tried. Just because things don't readily show up in that moment, people think the prophet, he got it wrong, she got it wrong, there nothing has happened. That's not the way it go. Everything is in God's timing and how God would have it to be. Okay? So I pray that this warning that I've come to give here on this late night would benefit, because I'm here to help the children. And I pray that you share this information with somebody as it relates to our children, because our children are in desperate need of prayer for what the plots and plans, okay, from the devil, the demons that are out in high activity. When I say there's high activity, there's high activity. And they need to be rescued, and they can only be rescued in prayer. If you don't know what to pray, you could just simply pray what I just said. God, we need you to intervene and rescue our children from the demonic plots of the devil. Okay? That's going to come in so many different forms, which one child may go through, another child may not go through. But I clearly see this with this judicial system. And we must pray. It's not an option. We have to pray. I close with this and I'm done. Find a child or find children that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that no one's praying. Okay? Find at least 3 children that you know no one is praying for them. You're not going to go broadcast it. You're not going to say anything. If you are a parent, you're going to add those children to your children's list. So when you diligently pray for your children throughout the day, you're going to be praying for these children as well. Find you at least 3. If you know of more, do more. And you're going to cover them in prayer. Again, it is none of your concern if mother or dad is in jail, if they're on drugs, mental issues, if they're living their best sin in life, if they're neglecting their children. That's none of your concern. It's a child that needs prayer and they don't have the covering, so you're going to intercede and pray for this child. You cannot just pray for yours. If we all implement this, what I'm trying to roll out, there will be more covering of the children and they'll be shielded from these demonic plans of the enemy. If you are a parent and you are praying for your child currently, I want you to be encouraged. I don't care what you see with your natural eye. If you are wholeheartedly praying and isolating yourself and crying out to God, He is going to move on your behalf for your child. What you cannot do is become discouraged and be in disbelief because of what the devil shows you with your natural eye. Remember, everything happens in the spiritual realm, the spiritual world. Then it moves over into the natural. So it makes so much of sense that you're going to see something else, okay, in the natural, because it haven't transpired and come from the spiritual realm into the natural. So be encouraged and continue to pray for your child. Expect God to show up. Expect God to move in their lives. Your children are a blessing to you. Your children are a gift, a reward unto you. Okay? The devil can't have them. Why can't you open up your mouth and say that the devil can't have your child? Your child belongs to God. So how can the devil have him or have her? He can have your child if you let him, if you give up, if you give up. So buying your child clothes and cars and retro Jordans and plastering them all over Facebook. This my mini me. This is my this. You know, whenever they have a birthday. That what is that? What is that? That's nothing. A true parent who really loves their child and on their job is a praying parent. A praying parent. Do you pray for your child as much as you post about them? It's nothing wrong with posting because you can be proud as a parent. I get it. But what you're supposed to be diligently doing is praying. And you can't pray that little pity-pat prayer. And you can't pray once a day. You think the devil is coming up against your child once a day? And for those of you who have children who's sexually active, you need to be praying for the person that you know they having sex with. Hello? Hello? You know he crazy. You know she crazy. We love them. We love whoever the boyfriend is that they're dating. We love whoever the girlfriend is that they're dating. And I don't mean crazy in a negative way. I mean doing crazy behaviors. Okay? So they doing crazy things that they're not supposed to be doing. Drawing in negative things to them. And then your child is laying down having sex with them. They are exchanging spirits with this person. So not only do they have their own issue, now here comes the other person issue that they sleeping with, and that's intertwined. So if your child has a boyfriend or girlfriend, you need to be praying with tenacity for that child as well. Because it's affecting your child. Come on. Let's use our heads here. You wholeheartedly just praying for yours. Just praying for yours. And hoping that the person splits up and leaves your child alone. I get that. I promise you I do. But your child already been sleeping with them. So whether they break up with them or not, you still got a child that's got their own stuff and then that other person's stuff too that they were sleeping with. So you have your job cut out for you. You don't have time for boots on the ground and fans and taking all these trips and going here and doing this and doing that. You can do things in moderation. I never said that you shouldn't enjoy life. You should. But how you always gone somewhere and always doing something and your children are drowning. And I'm speaking to my Christian parents. Now, here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to confuse what I said, and we're not going to try to twist what I said. I originally said that there are children out there that don't have parents to pray for them. I stand on that. I'm not taking that back. And then I just said you can't be all over the place because you need to pray for your children, right? I'm talking to Christians. Those people who are not praying for their children are sinners. Get that? Does that make sense to you guys what I'm saying? The ones who are not praying for their children, and we need to get their names and pray, those parents are sinners. Okay? But over here, where we have Christian parents, right? The same rules don't apply. You can't just be doing whatever. You're going to enjoy life and go places and do things, But you're not going to just be all over the place living your best life, and your children need to be covered. You know why? Because you're a Christian. You held to a different standard. Does that make sense to everybody? I pray that it does. That's all I have on this late night. That's all I have on this late night. Okay? Is that I came as God's prophet. Okay? Trying to help the children. Here I go again. I'm just doing it in a different way. Before, I was doing it in the vein of I was doing everything. Now I'm doing it in the vein, I'm facilitating and rolling out and telling my Christian parents what they need to be doing for their children and for somebody else's children. Okay? So we're not going to be selfish and just pray for our children. We have to pray for other children. And you're going to, like I just stated, on purpose. Okay? Find you 3 children that you know that need prayer. Even my people who are going to come and watch the replay, I need to know that you guys are on board as well, because we have to cover our children. Okay? We have to cover our children. There is so much that has transpired in the last few days. One of the things that I said today on the video that I gave for 12 noon, praying for black men in America, I said that there's much going on in the news that's not being reported. I said that, okay? The same thing with these children. There's a lot of things that's not being reported. Some of the children don't have anybody to tell how they're being mishandled, how they're being treated. Some of them are dead wrong in some of the activities that they're engaging in. And so when confronted, they feel like, okay, well, they was doing some wrong, so they're not going to say anything. But that's not the way the law works. Even if you're doing wrong, okay, authorities still have a certain protocol and rules that they have to follow. If I'm speeding, we can use something simple. If I'm driving down the road and I'm speeding, okay, he doesn't have a right to snatch me out of the car and throw me on the ground and say, Nicole, you were speeding. How dare you speed? And then kick me and do all types of things. He doesn't have a right to do that. Even though I'm at fault, I'm speeding and I know I was speeding, right? I was at fault. I broke the law. He has every right to pull me over and ask me, do you know that you're speeding and that the speed limit is 35 and you was doing 75? He has every right to do that. You know why? Because I was breaking the law. But he doesn't have a right to do what I just said, mishandle me, snatch me out of the car, throw me on the ground. So even though a lot of the times the children may be at fault at some of the things they're doing, they don't realize that they still are mishandled inappropriately, okay? And so that's where I'm at with all of this. I don't know any more than I'm supposed to do than what I'm currently doing. And that is, I'm coming and I'm speaking. That's all I can do. There's no more I can do. Quite often, I come and I say things and people just kind of pass over it and don't pay attention to it. I'm not exactly sure why, but it is what it is, okay? Our children are in need, and this video, this live that I'm doing, okay, I pray that it's just not looked over and seen as another live or another video. Because I'm here with a warning. This is a clarion call, okay? This is a clarion call. Our children are in trouble. There are attacks that have been launched, okay? And we can minimize or we can stop it. It's going to be completely up to us. So I pray that what I've said has blessed you guys in some way as it relates to your children and the children that you're going to help. I'm going to say good night and thank you guys in advance for praying for other children.